Yeah, guys. Looks like I might have gotten just a little bit carried away. I'm sure this is not what I need to do to change that spur. What's up, guys? Sitting here with the Maverick Quantum 2 MT, and I did a video, on putting the motor mount in. No, I still haven't run this yet. I haven't set up a run video yet, but I'm gonna get to that. I just felt like, we want to know some things because you're gonna have to do maintenance on these RCs at some point. And I just wanted to do a real-time video. As you see, I already started taking the rear end off. I'm just trying to see what you really have to do in order to get to the slipper clutch assembly in here. And I'm thinking that it shouldn't be that much. And I'm gonna try and do this real time. I did it once before. I already changed the metal spur gear in here and everything, but I just really felt like I took too much apart. So I'm trying to just take it apart again and just get a real idea of how much it actually takes to get in here. Because I'm thinking what I did was way too much. I had I just had a lot of stuff taken apart on this thing. I had the rear bumper taken off, and I'm thinking that they, took an idea, because it's kind of an idea from Traxxas. I'm thinking that they took an idea, a tip from Traxxas. Not an idea, but a tip from Traxxas, and try to make this thing as easy to disassemble as possible. It looks similar in a lot of ways. I hope, people rib Traxxas for suing when you steal their ideas. So I'm hoping that this doesn't turn into a evidential review of how this and that happened, and now Traxxas wants to sue. I'm gonna move my stand out of the way because I don't really think I need my stand for this. I'm gonna get on the mat and do. And I don't think Traxxas should sue HPI for this. HPI has been trying to do some good things for the hobby, just like Traxxas has, and we don't mind the competition. Personally, I don't mind it. It's good to have a little healthy competition. I'm just hoping that this doesn't turn into an issue for HPI. I just want to see how many screws it really takes, how many licks it really takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Remember that old commercial with the owl? Okay, I believe that should be it, but it doesn't come off when you take these 4 screws here. These here have been taken off. And I'm just looking in here to see, is there anything else actually holding this together? Because I really don't want to take a bunch of screws out. It would seem to me like that would be it. You know, it should slide out, come apart. There it is. Maybe I do have it. Maybe I just didn't know how to, well, no, I know that's loose. But it's 1, maybe 2 more screws, maybe, holding this all together. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything that I overlooked that's holding this, pinning this together and not letting it out. The other screws look like they just hold the shock towers in. Maybe it's these 2. Maybe it's just this right here because of this mount. I thought it was a separate piece. Maybe it's these 2 screws here. I'm really hoping to not have to disassemble this truck to that extent to get this off, because it didn't seem like you should need to do everything that I did. I took a lot of screws out. I disassembled pretty much the whole rear end of this truck, trying to figure this out. And it just seems like it should be easier. And I'd love to know if they're gonna offer a sway bar kit for this. I know this is built kind of wide, so it really shouldn't need sway bars. And I'm trying to see. It seems like it should come now. Doesn't seem like anything else should be holding it. But it's not. It's not, and I don't see what else. I'm really trying not to have to dig this thing, take this thing apart super extensively. Because I don't think you should have to take the entire back end apart just to get into this when this is all it's holding. It's like it's moving, right? But it's not quite letting it go. I don't want to break it. So I'm going to take a look here. I don't see why these would matter. I'm already up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws. I'm already up to 9 screws, guys. Already up to 9 screws. And we're not quite there. So I just want to look in here and see if there's anything that I'm missing. Because it seems like it's just about to come off. But it's not quite coming off. Don't get it. If it is what I had to do last time, I'm just gonna post what I have, you guys. It is what it is. Cause I did this video before, just for transparency's sake, and I'm thinking, you know, after doing it once, if you come back again, and there's more than you didn't, and you did more than you needed to do, you would want to address that the next time you get into this aspect of doing work on the car. I'm hoping I'm getting good shots of the video, guys, because I'm working with the hack cam and I can't see what I'm videoing. So I hope you guys are getting a good view. So I'm just gonna take this off so I can see in here. And it seems like, I mean, to me, it seems like everything is loose. It's just not coming off. That's all. It's just actually not actually letting this free. And I don't see even what's holding this bracket on. This bracket itself comes off if you remove it properly. And I thought I took the 2 screws out of that. And I see seams, and it seems like it's loose, but this is not coming off. I was hoping this video wouldn't be extensive, but I really want to know exactly what you gotta take off. I don't want to, we don't want to have to do too much to disassemble an RC for maintenance. We don't want to have to take the entire rear end apart just to change the spur gear. It seems like it's this bracket here that's holding it on, the brace mount. So maybe this one screw here. The 3 I took out to look inside, I'm not gonna say that those count. If this comes out and it lets the bracket off, that helps to hold the chassis brace, the center brace on. If that all comes out, nope. Once that screw forward, then it's so weird. Guys, it seems like it's free, but it's not. And I don't know what's holding it. I really don't. Do I really have to take? Because the last time I went in here, I took all of this out. And it seemed to me like I shouldn't have had to do that, but okay. I'll go the route that I'm going. So you think it's exactly like Traxxas, it looks like it, but based on what I'm having to do, it's not. Not at all. Not even remotely close. I'm gonna put these screws over here with this because this is all one piece, and those are the screws for it. I'm trying to minimize how many screws I have pulled out and where they go. I do have the schematic, obviously, because it comes with an exploded view diagram that you can use. I guess I should say diagram. But it took a lot to get into this. And it's like, I know that this is all connected. This whole thing here is being held on. This marine part is being held on here. But it didn't seem like I needed to worry about all of this. So I'm weirded out by the fact that I'm now at this point. So I'm doing this video for the sake of, like I said before, finding out the reality of it. Is it really that much? Because it seems like a lot, you guys. I'm gonna be real. So okay, I'm here. I'm at the spur gear, but nothing comes apart. It doesn't come out. It doesn't separate. I thought it would. Guys, I thought it would. It seems like it is loose. It just doesn't. It's because of this. It's gotta be this that's holding it in. This center brace. Move that out of the way. It should come down and out, but it doesn't. There it is. There it is. There's some finagling. I didn't think it needed to be done that way. So in reality, what you have to do, because I've seen a couple of people go in here and they just had the car completely torn down. And I did that too, right? So it is a few screws. I'm gonna count the screws. This one doesn't count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 screws to get in here. And as you see, I have done. And once you get to here, you can change that brace. If you want to, for the sake of protecting your wires, if you want to take this bumper off, you can do that. It's just, you can take this section of the bumper off itself right here. You can take this off. So I guess it would be 14, 15 screws just to protect that. But if you're not worried about that, then you can flip it over, and then you can take this grub screw off out of here, slide this off, make sure that you put everything back correctly. I'm gonna leave a picture of the diagram, or we just gonna look at the diagram. Let's just do that, because just in case there's not a good picture. When you take photographs, you know how these YouTube videos do. When you take photographs of things, sometimes it just doesn't come out right. And the part you are looking at is right here, this area here. This is the way to put that together, and it's all, and you'll get the exploded view if you buy this. But I just wanted to make sure that it did not require us to take down the entire rear end of the car. Okay, there's a few screws, fair enough. But you do have to, in order to get that movement, you will have to take this out. And it is kind of held in place by some different things. And once you get this out, it'll give you the freedom to kind of wiggle this out. Now we gotta hope we can put it back in the way we got it out, right? So let's see how simple that's gonna be. I need to shine light in here. Sometimes the workstation light is not good enough for what you want to do. So this is where we're going. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all this with one hand, guys, and video and everything. Okay, so it goes back in, but now you'll probably have to take this out and do it this way. You probably have to line all this up. Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think that works. This is the fun of RCs, guys, when you're doing projects and you want to take things apart and put things back together. This is what it's about, finding the best way, the most sensible way to do this stuff. And so I now have to kind of line that up so that it threads together. It's gonna have to go like this. You wanna tip this up, right? And then, let me show you that again, just in case we didn't see. You're gonna wanna tip this all the way up. This part, just like this. Line it up like a T, tip that up so that it falls together like shuffling cards. And then you gotta flip it over and make sure, you definitely want to do this, that the bearing, because there's a bearing that has to sit in just the right spot. I think I got it in the right spot. Yep, right in there, like that. It has to be right there. Now, in my opinion, as I'm learning this as I go, the best way to do this. I know I should have run this thing by now, but stuff like this is important to me. Like I said, for me, a big part of it is the build and learning the car and what to do with the car, how to care for and maintain the car. So yeah, I'm the guy that's gonna do this video before I ever run it. So now this has to seat itself so that it catches that bearing and everything that you need caught on the bottom. And you can check I think it'll be fine. And set that down like this. I'm gonna start with this bottom panel because that's just the way I think I should go with it. Because it's gonna give you a freedom to not have to hold everything together while you screw it back together. And I guess it doesn't matter which screws you start with first, as long as you make sure, before I continue with any more screws, I'm gonna make sure on the top I got that sitting where it needs to sit. Yeah, everything's lined up right. Whoa, that's what happens when you move stuff. It comes, but it should seat right back together. Because it can't go back together wrong. That I do know. You can't put it back together wrong. It won't fit. It will not fit back together wrong, guys. It just simply won't. So then you just start putting the screws back in. I know these videos are boring, but when you get here and you need this information, you will be glad that you can find this information. So yeah, you guys find this stuff helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, because my thing is to do what I can to make the hobby better. I'm really trying to get a good shot, you guys. I know I can't see everything that's going on here with the hat cam. I'm trying my best. Trying to check my angles as I go. So yeah, as you're putting it back together, I guess I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna put these two screws in. I don't want to capture this area because I'm feeling like we want to get these. This will really help stabilize. So I guess really it'd probably be wise to do, like changing the tire, alternate. I didn't do that, but it's probably the best way to do it. Get your two screws in here somewhere, and then two screws in here to kind of stabilize everything the way it needs to be, so you can put everything back together. And it just kind of stacks together, so that's a good thing, right? And just keep in order, everything in order as far as your screws, so that you know where everything is going. That's all. Just make sure you can line everything up. And take your time screwing it in. I know a lot of us veterans in the game. I consider myself a veteran in the game. I've been in and out of the hobby. I'll admit that, but I got like over 20 years. I got over 20 years of experience. I was here when they had the 27 megahertz radios, and somebody turned on their AM radio and came driving down the street, your RC car turned into a runaway. Man, if we had YouTube back then, we probably did, but I just wasn't able to, access it at that time. But I don't know how long YouTube's been around, guys. I don't know the history of the channel. I just know I like watching it, and I like being a part of the community. So this is what I do for fun. If you want to follow, that's great. Like I said, if this stuff I show you is helpful, like and subscribe and share, because if it helps you, it helps somebody else. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm trying to get help, because we all run into problems. Like I ran into that problem with the Red Cat machete, and I had a serious rant session about that thing. I was like really outdone, because it wasn't something that, it was a design thing. I ain't gonna rehatch, but I was appreciative that a fellow YouTuber, and I'm not good with names, but if you check out my comments in there, you'll find out who it was that gave me the answer. Told me that, I think it was Losi, had a vehicle that you could put brakes on even though it was electric, and Techno had the extended shaft pinion gears, and it was the exact thing that I needed. It was the answer, without question. I can flip this over now. See, it's kind of stiff now. I hope I can stick this back in. I probably should have done this first before I tightened everything down. Oh, okay. It's gonna be my friend and go right back in. I love it. So I'm gonna put this screw. I didn't need to take this screw out. So this is one of those extra screws. So far, guys, we have put back 6 screws. And as you can see, like I said, we're okay. It was doing weird stuff when it was turned over and I was checking it, but we're fine. And like I said, I had already done a video showing you how to change the spur gear to a steel. And yeah, I was happy to do it. And no, I have not. Again, I haven't driven this yet, but I got issues. Y'all pray for me. It's like I get an RC car, and it's hard for me to just take it out the box and drive it. I was able to do it with my Rolalo, the 1/12 scale Rolalo. I'm gonna do it with the next car I get. I've been shopping for a car because I try to kind of cover different genres. I did a large scale, A-scale car. So it's time for me. Then I did a 10 scale. Well, what order did I do it in? I'd have to refer to my video history to confirm that. Anyway, I did an 8 scale car, and I did a 10 scale car, and I did a 12 scale car. And then I decided, this is what it is, because I decided it'd be good to be able to cover all the genres by doing the different scales. So I'm back here with a 10 scale, because I think, I did my Stampede. Sorry about this, guys. I told you I get to wrenching and I get my head angle and forget you need to see. So I put this back in. This is the mount bracket for the center brace. And now we have put back, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be 10. So it's gonna be 11 screws total that you actually have to pull out. And I knew I had the bumper off. I had the rear end flopping around. I just went in, you know, not looking at the schematic. It really won't give you a big hint from me looking at it. Didn't give me a big hint. Maybe I, you know, just missed something. But it's definitely helpful when you're trying to get it back together, because it's gonna show you at least some kind of order. And yeah, studying it, when I began to study it after going in, it dawned on me, you can't have to take the entire thing apart. This is beautiful, isn't it? That's that aluminum motor mount, man. So as far as it goes, everything in here is still stock gearing. The only difference is there's some metal in some spots. So the aluminum motor mount and the steel spur gear, that's all I've changed. It still has the stock gearing. The pinion gear is the same. The metal spur gear is the same tooth. I think it's 51 teeth and 14 teeth. So, you know, it's still stock in general. Just a couple things I just wanted to do, just to say I did it, because this is, you know, the rest of the stuff that you'll do is kind of surface. This is the only real dig in thing when you start dealing with the slipper clutch and stuff like that. And I'm really curious, honestly. I wonder, I'm mentioning this, somebody's gonna try it. Maybe they already have and I just haven't seen the video. But I would love to know if I could put a Haas center diff in here. Would it fit? I didn't measure it. Yeah, it probably too tight, you know. It's probably too tight. And then you still have to make it line up with this. But this has a cup, a drive cup. So it's possible that I can exchange the drive cup. I'd have to see. Obviously, you gotta take some measurements. The drive cup, replace that on the with the spline that's on the Stampede or the Haas. See if that fits. If it fits, and everything fits. I'm being redundant with that word, fits. If it all fits, then you could put a center diff in this thing. So no, it's not exactly like taking apart. I didn't count the screws when I did the stamp. It was like 4 screws. It's 6 screws to take the Stampede off. Just the top screws and the bottom screws in this area and this area. On this thing, you gotta kind of make it so that it can shift. I actually probably, as I'm thinking about it, now that I figured out how to drop it down, I probably only had to take off these 4 screws. It probably is the same, with the exception of just getting this bracket out. Because once you get that bracket out, you can get that movement and drop it down. So you actually probably don't even have to take this plate off, the bottom plate. This guy, I know I'm still screwing that screw. This guy here, you probably don't even have to take that off. So if you don't have to take this off and you can just unscrew these 4, now you're down to what, 7 screws to get in here? So that's not bad. That's not bad. And the slipper clutch design, I appreciate Team Associated. Is their slipper clutch design. Traxxas is their slipper clutch design. HPI clearly can use the design. The one slipper clutch design that I got a problem with is the Armor one. And, you know, it's because it got that screw in it to tension it, and that little tiny spring. That makes no sense. So we're back together. We talked about it a little bit. That was it, guys. That was it. There might be a small edit point here and there, but essentially, this is how much time it takes to go in there and get to that slipper clutch to change the spur gear. Now, that's not a hard process. All you have to do is remove the drive cup. You don't have to take both sides off. You don't have to take all of this stuff out. I did all of that, but you don't have to do that, because you can take all of that up off of one side and you can put it all together. The only thing you might have to do to make it easier to work with is remove this bumper so that you have, you know, some room where you don't have to worry about this wire holding you up while you're trying to work. But that's essentially it. That's all you have to do to get to that. And much simpler than my first time, I must say. Like I said, I might share that piece of the video with you just so you can see what it was like before I figured it out. So anyway, again, if you think this was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video. It's all about making the hobby better for everybody. And you know my motto: if you ain't crashing, you ain't bashing. This is TKS Hobby saying be safe, be blessed. Signing out. Peace.